This is disaster for the British pound. It finally happened. The inflation rate is so high in the United Kingdom and the interest rate is so low that there is no point for anybody to keep their money in British pounds anymore compared to other currencies and compared to other inflations and compared to other assets. At the moment, the situation in the United Kingdom is very bad as the inflation rate is 3.6. Even inflation in Czech Republic dropped to 2.9. Inflation in Germany is 2. So that's the British target. The Bank of England target, inflation target is 2. And British pound can't afford the inflation of 2%. This is disaster. The inflation in France, 1%. And even inflation in Poland dropped to 3.1. However, interest rate in the United Kingdom is so high. But the higher interest rate is even in Poland. So in Poland, they've got this currency, Polish gold. And the Polish gold interest rate is 5. So it's much higher than the interest rate in British pounds. So that you will be better off keeping your money in Polish gold than in British pound. The interest rate in Poland is dropping to 3.1, so the interest rate in Poland is lower than in the United Kingdom. And another factor that actually is mind-blowing is that United Kingdom currency is going down very sharply to many other currencies, including currency of Czech Republic. Look at this. The Czech Republic currency has even lower inflation, but it has a lower interest rate. But then that means they can afford more loans, more mortgages. Look at this. The GBP is going down against Czech crown currency. Actually, it dropped. Actually, this is disaster for the British pound. They are printing so much British pound that even it is collapsing actually to the Czech crown. Not because the Czech crown is so great currency or something like this. No. The Bank of England, the British state, by printing money, lowering interest rate, is destroying its own currency. It's destroying its own currency, the value of this currency. And look at this. Look at this. Once this currency of the Czech Republic was 60, almost 70 crowns per 1 pound. Today it is 28. But it was already over here 26, 25. But the inflation in Czech Republic is much lower than in the than in the United Kingdom. It's lower, much lower. Situation is really bad, as if we compare the value of pound, actually it is going down. If we compare the interest rate on mortgages, it is going down. If we compare inflation, it is going down. Well, it is going up. But it is going down against all other indexes, all other indicators. Inflation is one of the highest in Europe. Interest rate is one of the highest in Europe. And the currency is one of the lowest. Well, why is this happening? Well, it is not a special moment in the history of the United Kingdom. It's been happening for 50 years, and in 20 years it was even worse, and probably it will proceed. Why is this happening? Well, once there was a British Empire, around 100 years ago. And the end of the British Empire happened. Since that time, 1 British pound lost from $4 American dollars per 1 pound to 1.20 today. Okay, so it is 1 to 1. So it's lost so much. So used to you would give $4,000 per £1. Today you will get 1,200. Okay. This is not fault of recent years. This is not fault of this what is happening in the state between Kiev and Moscow. This is not because other factors. This is what been happening for last 50 years. In 1971, 1 ounce of gold was 15 pounds per one coin. Today it is 2,600 pounds per one coin. It's a disaster, but it's been happening somehow. Now people start to know what is going on. Why? Because there is internet. Usually only people in very high, very good universities and then in jobs would possess this knowledge. Now this knowledge is accessible everywhere. You've got charts, you've got knowledge, you've got data, you've got everything. That's why people know what is happening. And now, I believe so that the situation for British pound will be even worse than in 20 years, but in 20 years was worse than before. So now it will go down. It will go down as Australian dollar, as Canadian dollar. It will go down to 0.5 Swiss francs, like Australian dollar. As today, one British pound is 1.7 Swiss francs per £1. What does it mean? Well, that means that the British pound in 50 years dropped from 7 to 6 to 5 to 4 to 3 to 1 Swiss franc per £1. Soon, if the route will be the same for the British pound as for the Australian, Canadian and New Zealander dollar, then the British pound soon will be below 1 Swiss franc. So that will cost 0.99 Swiss francs per £1. Well, that would revert if actually the Switzerland collapse. That may happen, that Switzerland will collapse. Well, everything can collapse, everything can grow. But for now, for sure we know that for 50 years, gradually, British pound is going down against everything, against gold, against silver, against even dollar, against euro, against Swiss franc, against earnings, pensions. British pound. The pension in the United Kingdom 20 years ago was even 10 times or 8 times or 7 times higher than pensions in other countries. Now, it is only twice as high as those pensions in other countries. Is it the fault of those countries? No. The pension in the United Kingdom is going down. The pension in the United Kingdom is going down, and it is one of the worst in the Europe. How on earth would you save pension in the United Kingdom and British pound? This is not possible. This is not possible anymore to revert it. Unless King possesses so much gold in his treasure that will revert it. Maybe they stole so much gold from India, maybe they stole so much gold from China, maybe they stole so much gold from Indians in United States, maybe they stole so much gold from Mr. H, you know who I am talking about, the German guy, well actually Austrian guy who actually, and everybody thinks he's German, who in 1939 invented Poland and the second WW began. Maybe they took it from him and they have it in the London, but well, why they didn't use it 50 years ago then? Why then didn't use it 20 years ago? Why then didn't use it 10 years ago? Why would why would on earth they are going to use it now? Not in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. For sure we know. The situation in the United Kingdom is going down. And something must happen in their own economy to revert this. Nothing will help the British pound and the British society than themselves. They must work on it. They must strengthen the British pound. But how on earth would you revert something if, like this, what happened to the British pound? They've been printing, they've been lowering interest rate. It has no value at all. How on earth would you do that? I think there is no way. Please subscribe my channel, follow my channel, subscribe. I hope to see you soon. Bye bye.